Eric decides he's going to do whatever he wants to do and got his balls back. And Thomas and Sasha, Bold Beautiful Breakdown starts next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There's our music. There's our music. I love that song. Yes, I do. Welcome to the Bold Breakdown, the Bold and Beautiful after show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. We're here, and I'm so happy to have you guys here on this Sunday evening. First, I'll tell you, grab a drink, which we did. Cheers. Cheers to all of you out there. And I'm James Lott Jr., of course, your host. I won't say I forgot who I am. I'm James Lott Jr., and I'm one of your hosts here. And, of course, I brought back a fan favorite. You guys liked him last time. They did. Walker Ragsdale.
I feel like I should be like, I'm back.
Oh, I gotta say, I'm back, bitches. I always tell people, I'm back, bitches. That's right. He's back. Everybody's in the chat room. Hello, you guys in the chat room. All my regulars, Amber's baby and Tracy and Ethel and Jacob. You guys are all in here. I love it. You guys are, Nikisha, you guys are all in here. Thanks for being here this late Sunday evening. We have a lot to talk about, of course. But first, I feel like Julie Chen from Big Brother. But first, my lot in Los Angeles this week, of course, is a book. The Bold and Beautiful. This is the 10th anniversary book. And this one was written by Robert Waldron, who used to write for Soap Opera Update. Remember that magazine?
I loved Update.
It was the larger one.
I loved Update was my favorite growing up.
I used to love that one too.
It was my...
It was good. It got good dish. It really featured the soaps, good pictures.
Oh my God.
There's a bigger one.
Amazing pictures.
I know. Rest in peace, Soap Opera Update. But he used to write for them. This came out in 1996 for the 10th anniversary. You can find it online. It's still online. You can get it in places. I actually have all the books of all the different, I have All My Children, As the World Turns. They came out a whole series of books. And these are great. These are great color coffee table books. So this is the Bold and Beautiful, the 10 Bold and Beautiful years. So that's one to kind of give that there to you guys out there. You can use the hashtag The Bold Breakdown on Twitter. At my Twitter handle is James Lott Jr. What is your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is I am Walker R.
Ooh, that's right, kids. Don't you forget it. And of course, we have the Bold and Beautiful page, the Bold Breakdown page on Facebook. Go ahead and like us there. Getting to 700 likes, a prize will come out. Right now we're like 630 or something.
Come on, tell your friends, tell your auntie, tell your mama, tell your grandma, because you know all the old people love Facebook.
Yes,
so
they do.
You can, yes.
I like this. Actually, I never thought that angle before. You're right.
Yeah.
So all the older folks you know that like these soaps, like this soap, tell them to like our Facebook page. I like that. I didn't even think about that. I'm also on Facebook. You're right. They're all on Facebook. They're there. And of course, you can find us on YouTube and iTunes under the Bold and Beautiful After Show. Okay, so we're going to go right in this week because we're coming out of Monte Carlo and we're back in Los Angeles.
So much happened.
So much did happen. And of course, we start with Monday, of course. And, Steffi's still thinking about Liam and that kiss. She's still kind of dreaming about it, of course. Mm-hmm. I feel like this week, Steffi really is getting her balls back. Because last time you were here, you were saying you hope that Steffi comes out. Do you feel like this week she's actually...
You know, it's so funny that I noticed not only a little bit more spunk, the wardrobe this week. Wardrobe this week wasn't frumpy. That dress,
yes.
Jackie looked amazing.
Yes, she did.
It's funny. Thank you, whoever's listening.
Yes.
To make that change. So hopefully we can keep that up.
I agree. It's funny. I agree. And actually, I think a wardrobe change, a hair change, anything will change the whole character. Yeah. And I agree. She was in it this week. She was like, we're going to talk more about it, of course. Rodell, hi. Thank you. You say you love me on this in General Hospital. I love you too. Thank you. I'm glad you tuned in and stayed up with us. But her and Wyatt, their days are numbered, aren't they? Their days are numbered.
I saw zero chemistry. You know, I was here last time and we were talking about the rooting factor of like Lee and Wyatt, and I said bring in someone new. For a glimpse, I kind of saw that little magic with Steffi and Liam.
Okay, yes.
Not with Wyatt.
Okay, I get excited for a second. I was like, oh my God.
That's done.
I think it's done.
No.
It's done. And she said, we've been here before.
Yeah.
Do you agree they're playing Wyatt dumb?
I don't know what they're doing with Wyatt.
It's like your mother's crazy. I know it's your mother, but like you can still know she's crazy, but then not believe her, right?
You know, I like that they had Steffi drive home the point that we've been here before. Yes. I've heard this before. The fans have heard this before and before and before and before.
Right, no, right.
And so it's like, it's something a new dynamic has to happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So we're on the same page. I totally agree. No, Michelle, you didn't miss anything. Jakayla, thank you. Yes. So she's kind of done. She's like, I'm over it. Even though I never thought she was over Liam, first of all. Anyway, she married Wyatt because whatever she married Wyatt for. I mean,
For a plot point.
yeah, because they think the writer said. Yeah, right, exactly. But then also we have the whole Thomas and Caroline. And Caroline has to leave for the Hamptons for a while to be with her mommies. Take a little break.
Yeah.
While all the stuff starts to come out.
And my wish is Caroline is a character that needs to come back with a little more with her again, because it's
Yeah, I agree with you. Lindsay Godfrey is a great actress.
Yeah.
She can deliver.
Yes.
So yeah, give it to her. I agree with you. She needs to go recharge.
Yeah.
Do what she needs to do, and then come back and say, okay, this is what we're going to do now. I'm like, and hit it.
I mean, it doesn't have to be the spoiled rich girl Caroline that we first met, but the Caroline that was going head to head with Maya.
Yes.
Like even that feels like it was years ago.
I know.
And it wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't, right.
That Caroline versus,
I agree.
hand wringing and crying and
I know. Yes, there was the Cheyenne. Hello. Yes, there was the week of returns of Deacon, the Avance, Justin. Yeah, Justin. We had Aaron D. Spears on. I had him on last week, and we had a great time. Great guy. I mean, he was such a wonderful human being. And yes, he was shown this week.
I have to say, this week of Bold was the most balanced with different people that I've seen in a long time. It wasn't just one storyline taking over the whole week. They did a really good job of balancing in, the Avant storyline, the Katie storyline, the Quinn storyline, the Thomas and Caroline. They did a really good job.
Brooke a little bit, and
a little Brooke and Ridge.
Yeah,
they did a really good job this week.
That's a good point. I really agree with that. Also, people are agreeing with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that. You guys are shipping. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there in a second. I'm reading ahead. We'll get there in a second. So yes, okay. So she's gonna go away for a while in the Hamptons. Which I did at first think. It's kind of rough when he said, I just got my son, really, and now you're leaving. I kind of thought, I can see his point where he's like, wait a minute, I just got him, and now you're going to go away to New York. It's not like, he has a 5-hour flight each way, but it's not like around the corner. I kind of understood his point a little bit.
Yeah.
But she's going to go away for a little bit.
But, when you have a private plane and you can just go whenever you want.
Yes, that's true.
I'll be there, too.
Okay, so now I have some bones to pick, folks.
Uh-oh.
This next storyline, I have some bones to pick. Oh, everybody wants Caroline, Thomas, Sasha triangle. Okay, we'll get there in a second. Lizzie's christening. Why didn't we see it? That was a great choice to. A few weeks ago, they had, I said, the Black Love moment when they had Sasha and Zendi have actually a date, and I'm like, why? This kid's a Forrester, first of all.
Yeah.
So they mentioned that Brooke set it up, which wasn't on screen for that. I kind of understand. Seeing a black family together, that's kind of cool, but it felt weird. Like the Forsters weren't there.
I'm gonna play head writer or writer for a moment and kind of give you my idea of what happened logistically.
Okay.
I think the reason that they did not have a big thing is because they have so many different storylines. Brooke is in between the Katie Bill storyline. Yep. Eric is involved in the whole follow of Quinn. So bringing them together would kind of taken the momentum out of those other storylines, especially the Eric one, because we're picking up what everyone's finding, because Rick and Pam didn't know about Quinn. So I feel like maybe by doing that, they felt like, it would have just taken the momentum off and kind of thrown things off. That's just my opinion.
No, I mean, it's probably valid. It's probably valid. That they probably thought they could possibly think that way. I personally still think, as a fan, you want to see the intergenerational stories, and actually, Bon Vivre is really good about that usually. When they have the matriarch, they usually do the whole thing, and I just kind of Rick was there obviously because that's his child. But.
Yeah, but you also bring up a good point, and I hope that this isn't something that's setting up how it's going to be now that Maya and Rick have this baby. It's now the black baby, and kind of gets pushed over on that side, and not having those moments with the actual Forsters. So I hope that's not where
it's a Forster baby.
It's a Forster baby.
And that's what I'm like. So I'm like, please. At least Brooke should have been there. or Eric should have been there. I mean, I'm sorry, he should have been there. I think somebody should have been there.
I could see Brooke. I can see Brooke because that little bit of her and Ridge, we didn't really need that.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But I understand Eric should have been there, but I understand why Eric wasn't there because they had bigger fish to fry.
I guess so. Well, I still my bone is still in there because I'm like, come on, folks. But here's what's crazy this week. I'm like, Julius is just going to town on Sasha. This is the first time he went off. He just really went off on her like, you are nothing.
I watched that, and my opinions are of me, and not of AfterBuzz TV or James.
Tell me.
I am not a fan of Sasha.
Okay.
I don't like the character. But that moment, I was like, oh, I feel bad for her.
Exactly.
Like Julius was that
matter of fact.
Yeah. That I was like, for a character that I could, if she left tomorrow, I wouldn't, lose 2 seconds of sleep. I was like, wow, that was.
It's very much this thing where some of us have fathers who aren't the greatest. That just kind of happens. But it's crazy that how he decides to just really kind of go out of his way to go off on her, because I guess his reasoning is, like he said it, you're a reminder of the mistake I made.
But it's a part of it it rings very hollow for me because yes, she's a mistake you made. But what was your excuse for Maya? Now all of a sudden, my daughters.
Yes.
It's like, wait, again, It was a year ago that you couldn't even
look at her. Right, because she was transgender.
And now you're claiming her.
Right, and when he broke it down, like she's married to a Forrester. Homegirls might be get to a Forrester. You don't have no Forresters. And I knew they were setting it up for Thomas. So it was kind of set up. But it was a line that was like, oh, like don't like you say. I'm like, okay, now we're seeing what you're doing with that. I was never a big Sasha fan either, but I found myself rooting for her this week. Which I'll give credit to the writers. I mean, they wrote some stuff that was
they made her sympathetic.
Yeah, sometimes it's all it takes, and then the character can change and become your hearts. But I think it evokes, and people in chat room were talking about it too. It evokes so many emotions out of all of us.
Yeah.
If you're a child or a parent or had a parent that was, it hits you and it hits you hard. I'll give Bill beautiful credit for that kind of. It's like, Oba's playing a character that's so unlikable right now.
And he is doing an amazing job.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree. He was already a great actor anyway, besides this stuff. Yeah. If you don't know his work, he's been around for 100 years. He's great. And I mean that in a loving way. He's been around for a long time doing great work. But I love seeing that, again, he's a black character, but he's playing just a regular old character who's just, he doesn't even need color.
Yeah.
Doesn't even need color. It completely was just like, wow, you're being a dick to her. Mm-hmm. And like almost unnecessarily. He was just saying all this stuff to her. You're a mistake. And, just, oh my God. It was like, I was shocked. And you guys, he's not a good dude. I guess he's not a good dude. I'll put it over there. Then on Tuesday, it just kind of, Sasha and Thomas are kind of talking because she's doing the dresses. He's a dressmaker and all that stuff. And then she kind of has a little moment because he talks about Douglas. He's like, make sure he knows that did you promise me you'll only let him know your love? And I thought that was kind of an interesting moment for her. I was like, okay, she's really feeling that whole unloved thing. And
yeah. I mean, if they're trying to redeem her, I mean, okay.
So it may work. Maybe you'll like her one day. He's like whatever. But I think it's kind of cool that trying to do something with them and getting Thomas in a different orbit of something else too. Because I like him and Caroline together. It's fine, but give him something else to do. Give Pearson something else to do.
Here we go.
Tell me.
I want to see them as friends. I don't see the chemistry between the two. I think that character needs friends because Sasha is kind of on her own, and it'll be nice to have like someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't understand why Bull it just doesn't seem like they know what to do with Pearson.
I agree with you on that one too.
It feels like they just don't know what to do with him, and that's really unfortunate. Because of the actor and because Thomas is such a legacy character that you can't find something a little bit more interesting for him.
Which previous Thomas I had interesting storylines. Some of them, I mean, Adam Greg, a lot of them had really good storylines for a while there that were interesting and kept on going. And it's like, yeah, I'm like,
except for the last one.
Except for well, yeah, he was a little off. Yeah. But Pearson's can act. He's an Emmy nominee. He can act. He's good looking. Yeah, he can do it. I mean, I think it's I'm just kind of, for me, I'm going to go and say I'm kind of happy that they're branching him out a little bit with Sasha. Yeah, I do see chemistry, so I think that, and people are shipping him on here. They're really all shipping him. I wouldn't mind a triangle. Don't give him to her right away. That's fine. Do a Caroline. I don't mind a good triangle. Bold and Beautiful is good at that. Anyway, and to have him torn with Caroline and his baby. But see, I want to see her still torn with Ridge. I liked her and Ridge together.
No, that's done.
You think it's done?
That's done. That's over.
What do you guys think, guys?
Let's like erase that chapter out of the book.
That's all agrees with you. I say friends first. Oh, so she says friends first, then let relationship develop. That's what Ethel thinks. So friends first.
If they do the relationship, if you're listening, you can't see me rolling my eyes. I want Carol. This perfect segue.
Tell us.
You have Caroline come back. I want her to have a little bite. She's like, no, that's my man. And you know, kind of, it would be a little bit of redux of Caroline going after, versus an Yvonne over Forrester.
Oh, okay, got it. But Bold and Beautiful does it all the time.
Bold and Beautiful, yeah, so
they will recycle.
They will.
And we love them for it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, but anyway, we're talking about it, but so I did a poll, and it was overwhelming. They liked Thomas and Sasha together. I did a poll on Twitter, and people loved it. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We don't even know if they're going that direction. She tried to kiss him or whatever. We don't even know if they're going that direction.
Now, people for you fans that like them, tweet me and tell me: is it that you see something there, or is it because they're the only two single people on the show, so automatically you have to throw them together and see something? So. I want that to be a poll.
Okay.
Do you actually see something there, or is it because they're the only two single people and you got to do something with them?
They're thinking Thomas and Sasha will be together, then Caroline will want them. Someone says Caroline still wants Rich. She already told Thomas not to wait for her. Somebody says Caroline doesn't know what she wants. A person, I hated Caroline and Rich for the passion. Amber's baby, move on from Courage. And Jakayla says, no, it's done. So you're right. So they're kind of moving with you guys. Michelle D says she's still low-key mooning over Zendy. I prefer Thomas and Ivy. Aren't they related? No, they're not.
I actually prefer Thomas and, I always forget her name. The day player.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like her. Oh, my God, I'm thinking of her name, too. They were flirty and everything. I liked them together. I forgot her name, too.
The model.
The model. You tell us who the model is if you can remember that. I liked Wyatt and Ivy. So I was kind of...
I like that. This is not, after watching Unreal Season 2,
yes.
I want Kimberly Matula back.
Oh, I want her back, period.
I want her. I was never... And obviously I realized that she's not playing Hope on that show.
Right.
But seeing her do something other than cry and wring her hands, I'm like, oh my gosh, if she brought just a little bit of that to Hope, it'll be a whole different ballgame.
She's done. He's like, yeah. And I know that the character Hope has a lot of detractors and supporters.
Yeah.
As a character, I know has a lot. It goes back, but I liked Hope, so I would say bring her back too. Meanwhile, we got my girl. I love it. Miss Heather Thomas on this week, and we had Bill, of course, still mooning over Brooke, and Brooke's like, oh no. And Richard Brooke kind of talking, I love your giggle. That was kind of funny. And talking about the whole dad dating Quinn thing.
Yeah.
Quinn was everybody's mouth this week. Wow. But the bigger thing was Bill produced, of course, by Hope, they're all by Hope, produced the divorce decree and said, here we go, here's the settlement, $50 million. You have the house, you can have the car, whatever, the cars, whatever he was saying you could have. And our marriage is over. Just sign it now. And Justin walked in, of course, and was like, yeah, it's all good.
And Katie's like, oh, Justin. I swear they were listening to us our last show because we said that we wanted a little more Katie with a backbone.
Yes.
We are getting Katie with a backbone.
Oh, yeah.
I love those scenes when she's coming in because she's just so matter of fact about it. She's just like, okay, what else you got?
Because she's like, oh, so you want this marriage so you can go back with my sister, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, she's kind of read him a little bit.
Yes.
And he's like, just sign the papers, whatever. She's like, no. And I love when 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 Ridge would call her to come over to Forrester, she's like, I wrote this down, of course. I'm headed to Forrester to see Brooke. Should I say hello for you? I mean, the bite is there. I mean, it's like, and Heather Tom can do it. I mean,
Yes.
she could do it.
Yes.
So the bite was back, and she was like, I'll just take this with my person. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And just walked out. I love it. And so then she gets with Brooke and Ridge. Of course, there's tension there a little bit. I actually like Katie and Ridge together. I like them the last time they kind of flirted with that a little bit. They didn't go fully with that. They're okay to make Bill pay. I think she should. And they have an idea. Their whole idea is getting his 12.5% of Forrester. Well, that was an interesting point. It's like, don't take the other stuff, just get that, and then you can help us, keep it with us, because the whole Quinn thing. So there's two things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Ridge wants to take over now, like, look out for his adult father. We're going to talk about how Eric got his balls back this week, too. We're going to talk about that in a second. But, I mean, that's interesting. So they said, get the 12.5%. Forrester, which he doesn't even see coming yet. He's like, you don't even know what that is yet. Nope. I
understand where they're coming from, and I enjoy. If we haven't had every year, there's this whole battle over this percentage and that percentage and this percentage and that percentage. This person had this person. There's more to do with this. There's better business storylines that this show can do about internal struggle versus I want this percent, I want this percent. Well, I'm gonna kick this person out. I'm gonna kick that person out. If a business in real life, of which I know people, it's not real life.
It's not real life, right? But
if a business ran itself like that, people would be like, "That's a mess. They are a mess." I just think there's more. They can find something else versus, we're gonna oust Eric.
Yeah. That's what they're leading to, aren't they? To try to get it because he thinks he's crazy. He's with Quinn. So that's what kind of somebody here says yes. After seeing her on a reel, made me think Kim could act when she played Hope, but I couldn't see her potential. That's what Amber's baby said.
No, I never saw the anything of Hope when she was first.
Yeah.
And then seeing Kim be able to bring a whole different side, a whole different character, I was like, wow, like they need to, take a page and give her a little bit more of a. And I'm not saying every woman has to have a bite, but they all don't need to cry 5 days a week either.
Well, I agree with Walker. So Amber's baby says, I miss the feuding fashion houses, Michelle D says. I miss those too, with Spectra and for that whole thing was like fun. Ethel says, that's because all the shares are family owned. So the issue, I guess that's an issue or something.
And when's the last time we had a fashion show?
I know. Hello, spring line, fall line. Like we could just do that. That's the bold bring back. My segment. We should do that. So our next segment, of course, it's a new one I'm debuting. It's called the Bold Confusion. Because this is an interesting thing. I've seen it online brought up too, and I'm trying to figure this out because we're gonna show a first picture. The first picture is Rome Flynn's character of Zendy. In the credits, he was Zendy Forrester. Like you're talking about how he's a Forrester.
Yeah.
Now show the next picture. The next picture, now on the credits, he's Zendy Dominguez. So I'm just like, okay, folks, I know he was adopted by a Dominguez. That's the final last name was Tony Dominguez. But they keep saying how he's a Forrester. I think his full name is Forrester Dominguez, I think. So either have all of them on there. It's just one of those weird things, continuity things that I've seen people talk about it online too. It's kind of like, as fans, we pick everything apart. So it's interesting to me. Like, what is he?
I was going to make a joke.
Go make a joke.
Because, Rome goes by 5,000 different names too. I said, oh, this is a part of real life imitating art.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I wish it was like that, but I don't know if that's the truth for that one. But it's just so weird that they he's considered a Forrester, obviously because of Kristen.
Yeah.
But I hear him say Zendy. I'm like, what is his last name?
That is very interesting.
That's interesting. That Dominguez was only last year. So it wasn't that far ago. I mean, the Forrester was only that was in the credits.
Yeah.
So why did you change it? So anyway, that's kind of something I wanted to bring up for my bold confusion. Occasionally, I'll have that segment when I think something's confusing. Bring it out. So now we're on to Wednesday, and Katie, Brooke, and Rich are still talking, and she's like, and they're saying, okay, get the shares. We'll take him to courts. Bill's texting Katie at the same time, and then Katie and Brooke have the little moment like, I appreciate what you did with me and Will.
Yeah.
But ain't nothing changed.
I love that Ridge and Katie are having a conversation and Brooke's over there. on her phone. They're like, what's going on? What's so important? What's on that phone?
She's like, is this even about me? He's like,
Yeah.
and it's like, that was so funny. She's
That,
like,
I love that scene.
she was like, whatever. The fashion is when Rick proposed Maya last summer. Oh, the last one was in August last year. A year? It's been a year. It's August 2016. Oh, that's crazy.
Now, do we actually think that they would show if they went the route of, okay, we're gonna fight Bill Ford?
Yeah.
I want to see the actual court scenes.
Me too.
I want the custody trial. I don't want us. We're picking up after it happened and we're discussing.
I agree.
You know, oh, this happened and this happened. No, we want to see the Bill on the stand, Katie on the stand, all of that.
Can you imagine? All those actors can act. So
Yes.
like, can you imagine? Those
Yes.
are great scenes. I love when Bill was confused and she was like, well, I don't want the Spencer publications. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. He's like, oh, okay. Oh, it's 12%. You know, and he's like, oh, you want my Forrester shares? I love it. He's like caught off guard. He's like, oh.
My favorite part, of course, my mind went to this. He's like, you want my 12 and a half? I was like, oh, okay, Mr. Spencer.
Well, I mean, it's Don Diamante. It's hot. I mean, I don't know, but yes. But I just love that he was shocked. He was kind of like, oh. So it was kind of a genuine, like, where'd that come from? Like,
Yeah.
He's like, what's going on here kind of thing. And I thought it was kind of cool they did that to him a little bit. My boy Deacon was on again. Poor thing. They need to give him a bigger storyline, of course. I'm doing an interview with him later, but I'll talk about that later on the show. But he's, again, just in Quinn's ear about Eric.
You know, before I was like, I think he serves a purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, for this particular storyline, he serves a purpose. Again, there's a lot of these like bad girls isolation, like with Sasha not having someone to have a talk to, Quinn not having someone to talk to, but she has Deacon who brings that just humor and I really enjoy it. And when Quinn was like, "There's only 3 people in the world that would care if I live or die, and you happen to be one of them, so I should be thankful for that." And I was just like, okay.
Yeah, you're right. Usually when there's a villain or somebody who's on the villain side,
Yeah.
having a sidekick or someone to talk to is one of the best ways to kind of humanize them a little bit and also add some like dimension to them. You're right. And like these people are they're all solo. It's like, have somebody talk to you, make jokes, and like, I don't know, just kind of where they question them all the time, like, why you do, you think that's gonna work?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's a great plot device too. Also, you can totally ensure a plot. And then of course, Rich went over to Quinn, and that was a fun conversation. She was like, "We don't discuss our women. It never ends well." I love when Rich said that. That was kind of fun. I thought, okay, that's history right there.
Yeah.
That's history. That's so funny. Steffi's then Quinn says to him, Steffi's gonna end her marriage to no, he says it to her, is gonna end her marriage to your son just to get rid of you. And she kind of stood there for a second because she does love her son.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not after Steffi really for anything. I mean, she just wants her own piece of the pie. She doesn't really care about them, I don't think.
She has no boundaries.
She has no boundaries. She's boundaryless, yes.
She has no boundaries.
We all know folks like that, don't we, once in a while?
Yeah.
Boundaries.
And it's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think she really wants the respectability now, I think, at some period now. She wants the respectability, and I think she wants love, too, on some level.
I actually think this is about true emotion.
Me too.
I don't think they may play this later, but I don't see any like gold digger, any other dad. I don't think she's after Eric for any like. I don't see a power thing with this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I see her as genuinely enjoying and like, oh, I'm in something where it's mutual for the first time since Deacon.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think it's also one of those things where it's like, maybe she sees in Eric, like, you bring out a better side of me.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I see that too. I think, they are playing it like Eric's like saying, no, I think she's changed a bit. She didn't trap me.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually kind of believe. I mean, it's like, I think it was a mutual thing. I mean, well, yeah, we'll get into that a little more too, because Greg's about how Eric's doing that. But Ridge is like, I inherited my mother's strengths and manners. I am picking up where she left off. I was like, oh, okay. He threw down the mic and said, I'm gonna take over.
I know.
Steffi is to blame for her marriage. No one forced her to marry Wyatt after Liam was gone 3 days. I know. I laughed when Quinn called Ridge a gold digger. He did. She did say it back. It was kind of funny. You're a gold digger. That was hilarious too. Oh my God, that's like that's just so. Yes. Okay. So the bold flashback this week, because they kind of mentioned it on Friday's episode when Eric's talking about certain lines that happen. He's talking about the jewelry lines kind of dwindled. He mentions hope for the future, and he mentions Brooke's bedroom. Here's a little thing from back in the day in 2013, little clip. For those guys who didn't see it or remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, Forrester Creations proudly presents the future. The new Brooke's bedroom line.
It's like she's too much. Oh my God, bro.
My favorite part about that, it ties into what we were talking about earlier, that when's the last time that the fashion shows used to be something that we look forward to, and was a spectacle, a full, and just like, yeah.
I know. And this whole storyline, they tied in the fashion shows with current storylines.
Yes.
So there was always tie-ins. There was something going on.
There's always some drama.
And there was drama for that too.
Yeah.
There's drama for that too. But there's always some drama, and that's what Golden People is: fashion house drama, family. It's like that's what it means. So we need more of that. And that was her lingerie line. That was back in 2013, and it also tied into who Brooke was too. So what her persona was, that she was this girl who slept her way through everybody, I guess.
Well, that's
that song is no bueno.
And
the song that went with it is funny.
And now all she does is cry.
I know. Oh my God, I know. I want that bed. We want that bedroom. That's so funny. Muppet on meds. Yes, people are saying they think that Quinn genuinely loves Eric. And they said she's using Quinn to get out of her marriage. There's back to Steffi. I think she's using Quinn to get out of her marriage, possibly. But I think that Steffi has a right to feel what she feels towards Quinn, though. I mean, after what happened with her and Liam and all that stuff. I mean, Liam certainly has a right to feel how he feels towards her.
Yeah, I'm actually, but we also have to look at the whole broad thing. This isn't just the first time.
Right.
Like this has been ongoing before the Liam thing and her interfering. I'm not married, so I don't know what it's like to have a in-law that was just.
I know. Crazy.
It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. It's crazy. Now, on Thursday, we had Liam and Bill talking, and Bill's filling Liam in on the whole what Katie wants. He's suspicious. He's like, I don't know why she wants 2.5%. I don't know. They talk about Quinn, of course.
When Bill spit out the drink, that was my favorite.
Yes.
He's like, oh, Eric, he deserves. It's Quinn. I was just like,
I could stop laughing. That was hilarious.
I love everyone's reaction.
Yes, they're like, what?
Everyone's reaction.
I was going to mention that it was so funny. I wrote down his reaction, hilarious. That's what I wrote down in my notes. Yeah, Bill's reaction was funny. He was like, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
And yes, and Liam's like, we got to get Steffi away from Wyatt. I mean, it's just because it's going to be horrible. And yes, I'm like, okay, so that's going on. Well, Eric and the family have a meeting at Forrester Creations. Things are good. Rick's part of International. Steffi is the president. Thomas and Ridge are doing design. Caroline's with her 2 moms. He says that. I'm like, that's kind of funny. He's like, she's with her 2 moms.
I thought that was also weird as well. That line, I was just like, oh.
Okay. Yes. That was kind of weird. But the Julie line is lacking. And I love that Steffi rolled her eyes like,
yeah.
She was done. Thomas and Ridge are going to do a sit-down, I guess, interview about Douglas.
They did.
Oh, they did it. So they did.
That happened. Like, I was like, what? Yeah. All this happened, and like, Caroline's gone, and they'd done a sit-down, and the media loved it, and there's no scandal. I was like,
okay, already, and Pam and Rick were filled in on what was going on. I know Rick was kind of like, really? That's kind of weird. Like, he was just like, oh my God! And Eric is defending himself because they really are portraying. They're trying to say to him that he's this old, lonely, addled man who can't think for himself.
That's being taken advantage of.
He done. He's like, no. And I like what he said. I wrote this down. This is my life. I am not a child. I will not be judged. Meeting adjourned. And he was like, bye. He got out of there. He said, meeting adjourned. He was like, bye, bitches. And he left.
I did like everyone's rallying against him. I like Rick and Ridge putting it aside just for the moment to be like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, I do too. It was kind of cool to see. Well, they said they're family, so family should, it's like, I can talk crap about you, but no one else can. So we come together, and at that moment, everything goes aside, and we're Forrester's first.
I'm just glad that they are including Rick in these
I agree.
in these moments because Jacob's another one that they just like. Jacob Young is amazing.
Yes, he can act, folks.
I just don't.
He's a great actor. He can totally act. Like I said, I didn't care for his version of Lucky on General Hospital. We had this talk before, but on All My Children, he was phenomenal.
Oh
phenomenal.
Some could argue that he carried that show for a big part towards the end.
I agree. I agree.
Oh, JR and Annie.
Rick, JR, I know. Rick did call Rich brother. I know, he did. In that moment. When that whole thing was happening, he goes, tell me, brother, what's going on? And him and Annie. I know Annie. She's on Young and Restless right now. Of course, she plays Annie. She's good. Another soap. Sorry, another soap. But yeah, they are brothers, in a sense. I mean, not biologically, but they're brothers. Of course, that's how they were raised. But Eric was like, I'm done. And then meanwhile, Liam and Steph are in her office, and he's trying to like, are you okay? I'll make sure you're fine. Meanwhile, Wyatt and Quinn are talking. He's like, you need to leave LA.
Yeah.
Bye, Mom. I love you. You gotta go because my marriage is falling apart. You gotta go.
Can you? I can't even imagine. Like, even. Well, my mom is kind of. They all have their moments.
Yeah.
But just being like, you gotta leave town.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna keep someone that doesn't really want to be there.
Hello.
I've never been in this relationship.
Me neither.
I don't understand the mindset, and I don't want to judge because I've never been there. But to want to hold on to someone that doesn't want to be there, there's too many other people out here in this world to be, oh, please, baby, please stay.
I know.
I'm not begging.
I'm not begging either. Sorry.
You want to go? Bye.
Bye. That's exactly. Bye. And I love that. Eric was sending Quinn pictures of themselves together and stuff, all these perfectly pictures. And then I was like, those are all photos. They were taken. No. But then he shows up at the end. It was like, it's just the beginning.
I don't
They
care.
start kissing.
I don't care what our family says.
That's what he said. And on Friday continued. Friday, he's like, he goes, he wants to move forward. And he's going to go back to Forrester, talk to folks. And let's see. So he calls me together. And he says, I solved the problem. Let me show you. I was like, oh, no, he's not going to do this. The Julia line will be fine. And just like hope for the future and Brooke's bedroom. And then he goes, and they're like, Ivy? Is Ivy coming back?
I know,
Ivy?
I didn't realize Ivy was fired.
I know she was fired either. I'm like, I heard she's coming back late August. She's coming back on the show, but I don't know.
But I was like, fired? When did she get fired
I
from?
know.
I was like, okay.
They need to fix Steffi's wig. It looks like a wig. Her hair. Aw. Oh, they're all going on about Jacob Young being a great actor. Give him a real storyline. Yeah, I agree. Basically, walks in Quinn, and Steffi's like, nah! She loses it. She's like, no. So this week should be good.
That was a great cliffhanger.
That was a great cliffhanger. So it should be good. And earlier we had a shirtless Thomas, which you have to have one of those at least once a week.
Yes.
Working out. Even one of my friends who came in today earlier had a little mix-up behind the scenes. Mentioned the abs. I mean, it's like Pearson Froday is just like he's like a robot. I don't know how he gets his body. It's just crazy talk. And him and Sasha are a little flirty. And then he steps out to take a phone call. And then of course, Father walks in and decides to continue to go off on Sasha. Julie just goes, we go to town.
Yeah.
You need bitch, you need to leave.
You can go. But he was very nice about it. He was like, you can go to Chicago.
Paris.
You're pretty. You can go to Paris. As a model, yes, of course. If I can go to Paris, it's like, she's like, I got here on my own. He's like, you got this job because Maya is married to a Forrester and Nicole. I was like, well, that's true.
Partially, probably, but still, he was like, the people like Miles are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
He was like, he just cutting her down, And she was saying, but she stood up to him. She was like, wait a minute. You made the mistake. You did this, not me. Like, you made the mistake. You had me. It's not my fault. I like that she started to stand up for herself. Like I said, I was rooting for her. Like, no. I'm like, come on.
I was back on Julia's side by then.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Yeah, she had that moment Monday.
Yeah, she had a moment for you
She had
Monday.
that moment Monday.
I was on her side a little bit. And then Thomas came in.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? He saved the day.
Well,
He came in and told Jules. I was actually shocked. Jules was like, "Excuse me, boy. Like, who are you talking to?" I was surprised he didn't do all that. But I guess there is a class thing going on there. Was that realistic that a black man wouldn't have gone off on him?
Whether or not I like this storyline, which by now everyone knows, it is smart that they are using everything, tying it together.
Yeah, I agree.
His feelings, because Thomas is in his feelings.
Yeah.
And seeing this is just kind of like, just making it. So I appreciate that it's just not, here he comes to save the day. I'm getting, but like, no, he kind of sees a point of like, okay, this is not cool. I've kind of gone through this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was just wanting a white god. I know. As I said, the white man comes in and saves the day. Someone said that in the chat room. I'm like, there you go, kids. I know it's kind of funny, but I thought, well, then of course, Sasha says thank you, and she kisses him, and he kind of stopped for a second, and that's kind of so we don't know what's going to happen since then. We'll find out this week, I guess. But he hasn't seen the chemistry. I see. We all seem to see chemistry on it. Oh, they're like, why is Julie still in that motel? It looks like a motel. Yes, it looks like a motel there. I don't know. It was crazy. But no, it's I was kind of nice to see Thomas. Like you say, he's in his feelings, so of course he would say something to kind of. So you can't talk to her like that way. You should be nicer to her. She's your daughter. And
at least he was on talking about having something to do.
Yeah.
That's the positive. I'm gonna look at the positive spin.
I agree with
that.
that.
He was on there had something to do.
Okay, so we have a couple of upcoming events here at AfterBuzz TV for the soaps and for Bold and Beautiful. We're going to have them pull up to 2 pictures I have, and I'm going to tell you each one that's coming up here that I'm bringing to you guys. I'm working very hard to bring you guests from the show, people who are on the show or were on the show, and find out where they are, what's going on. And then we had Aaron D. Spears recently and Heather Tom. So next Sunday at 3 p.m., Sean Kanan is coming on as a Spotlight On. So it'll be me and him talking at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be me and him talking about all of his career, including Bold and Beautiful, of course, because he's on there, and he's been on there for many years. But he's also on Y&R. He was one of the original AJs on General Hospital. So we're gonna have a good talk with him and his life and his movie career he had back in the day and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and he just. One of his movies just came out on release. I can't think of the name of it.
I'm thinking of the name of it too.
But yeah, you can.
He's on web series. He's on all kind of stuff. So he's a great guy, and I will be talking to him. And then next Sunday, my co-host will be Dan Brown. Some of you guys have asked to have him on the show, and he plays Lieutenant Baker, a recurring role. People were saying no more hot dogs because it's always an inside joke with the hot dog, him and the hot dogs. But he will be on also.
Oh my gosh, you should have hot dogs here.
I was thinking about that actually. I was just thinking maybe I'll go to Pink's. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll go to Pink's,
so
and I'll do that. But that's something. But he'll be on as my co-host next Sunday here at 8 p.m., 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, and also I'm working on some other guests.
Some juicy things coming down the way.
Yes.
Speaking of juicy things coming down the way, I had the chance to speak with Mr. Bradley Bell this past Wednesday evening at the CBS party. And I asked him for a little scoop, and all he would say is, Quinn isn't going anywhere.
Good. Rena Sofer's the bomb.
They actually love Rena Sofer. They love how versatile she is as an actress. So this Quinn and Eric thing looks like it's going into the fall.
The thing about it, first of all, it's a great get. He got to talk to Brad Bell, so that's amazing. I just wonder, will they get married? Eric and Quinn. I think it's leading towards that direction of some sort. Like they're gonna kind of.
And I would. It's Bold and Beautiful. Everyone gets married.
Yeah,
after,
exactly.
2. But I don't want a marriage just yet. Let's get into it just a little bit. When's the next holiday? When's the next family holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Oh gosh, Thanksgiving. So I don't know if they're gonna wait that long because we gotta have Kristen, Felicia, and Thorne. You have to. Let's. we know those scenes. We have to play those.
Cheyenne says, I agree with Walker, with Sasha. Bitch needs to bounce.
Oh, hey, girl.
Yeah, Amber Derby says, yeah, pushing Thomas and Sasha together is kind of dumb, especially when she hasn't been redeemed. Quinn is getting rehired. Yeah, she's getting rehired. That's the whole thing. So I think, I don't know. I love Rita Sulfur, so I think she's doing an amazing job playing this kind of crazy character that could be totally unlikable and not work. To me, she's making it work.
Yeah.
Because on some level, we are seeing, even though she's solo, we are seeing some of her inner thoughts. Like, I really like this guy. Like, this is really...
I am glad that they're giving her something to do.
Yes.
And I realize this is a half-hour show, but there's a lot of other people who are lacking storyline. Zendaya and Nicole are just coupley.
Yeah. Well, Maya and Rick. Come on, Maya, get a storyline for her.
Yeah.
There are a few, but I know. Trust me. I know. We know the business.
Which you know, why having all these different storylines interchanging this week was really nice to see, because normally it would have been 5 days a week of, you know, Liam.
Well, recently it's been a lot of Monte Carlo, or a lot of Brooke and it's like it has been. You're right. It's been like, well, one week it was all Katie, and everybody was going to the kitchen, and seeing her. Literally 5 days a week. She was on 5 days that week.
Yes. So this week we saw
everything, just about.
I think we saw the whole cast.
I think we did too. Actually, you guys can tell us. You can tweet us if you think that's right. I think we did just about.
Yeah.
Even like I say, even Pam and others, they were on there.
Pam and
Sandy, all them,
and Justin.
Yeah. Justin was back. So that's very good. Well, you guys, that was another episode of the Bold Breakdown this week. We're so glad you could join us, and you guys in the chat room have been great, talking as normal.
We love the chat room.
We love the chat room, and you guys in there talking. We love you. You guys stay up with us on Sunday nights. Stay tuned for more announcements online at the Bold Breakdown Facebook page and my Twitter handle, James Lott Jr. Always announcing all kinds of stuff on there. Who knows? I have some big announcements coming up in the next month or so. You never know. And Walker.
Yes, I am Walker R. And tweet James or myself. Who would you like to see up here with us?
Please.
Just give us some ideas. What actors would you like to see come join?
Yes, and also tweet the actors too. And that works sometimes
that works too.
Tweet them saying you want them on the show. Some of them don't know about the show, so tell them about the show.
Yeah.
That's good. But yeah, tweet us both and tell us. I am Walker R. James Lott Jr. Thank you for watching us, and see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.